Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 8th episode of Tech Tip Tuesday. My name's Christy Keating, and I'm here with Howard Young, the Senior Sales Architect of Zadara Storage. And we'd like to welcome you. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. And Howard, if you could take it away and talk about today's topic, data encryption.
Yeah, hello everyone. Today's topic is the encryption levels that we can do with at the storage level. I'll go into that and do a quick demo and show you how to set up encryption for your volume. So if you're not aware of the encryption is at rest. So what that means is the at rest. It means the data that's written to the drive is encrypted. So if there's any drive failures or any replacement of the drives, the data remains encrypted, and so no one can access the data. So we do go through a process of replacing drives. It's just a normal maintenance of when drives fails. We replace them automatically as part of the RAID group. So as they get recycled and destroyed, the data is protected at rest. We use the Advanced Encryption Standard, which is also known as AES for short, and it's a 128-bit cipher, and this is in VPSA version 14 and 15. So if you haven't done any upgrades to version 16, it'll be a 128-bit cipher. And in the latest release, 1605, we went to a larger cipher, which gives you higher protection levels. So that's a 256-bit cipher. The cipher itself is stored in RAM. There's no way that we can get at your keys. So if you lose your keys, there's no way to retrieve it, and your data is going to be locked if you cannot enter your passcode.
Howard, we have a question here. Just so everyone knows, there's a question panel on your control panel where you can type in any questions, or feel free to raise your hand and we'll take you off mute and you can ask a question live. But we just had one come in and asked about what happens when your VPSA is hibernated.
That's a real good question. When you hibernate your VPSA, what happens is the data still is, your drives are still there, but you don't have access to the controller itself. So we spin down the controllers, and then when you bring, and of course once the controllers are down, the instance goes away, and then whatever is in RAM is gone. When we bring the controllers back out of hibernation, what will happen is you'll have to enter your encryption, your key, so it's a passcode, and then that'll allow you to access your volumes that are encrypted. So let's go over to my VPSA here and log in and show you where to enter your encryption keys and things like that. So if you go down to the very bottom left where it says System and under Settings, you'll find that it will have a couple tabs up here: General, Security, NAS, Metering, etc. And what you want to do is click on the Security keys or the Security tab, and it will allow you to do a few things. So this is a version 1605, and it's changed a little bit from version 15. But the way you do it is you just simply edit your encryption, and please be aware that once you do this, you cannot recover your data. So I highly recommend you to read this, and we put it in red and bold. So what we'll do is we'll type in a password here. And hopefully I don't forget it. So I better write that down. And then what we'll do is you have to click this responsibility button here that you're responsible for the passcode. And we'll do a save. So now it says for this VPSA, the encryption is activated, And so now I can go ahead and create any type of encrypted volume. So going back to the hibernation, if you come back out, if you bring the controller out of hibernation, you just come back here and edit, and then you go ahead and enter the codes here. So on the volumes, now we can go ahead and create a new volume. So if we create a NAS share, it's the same thing. Now the encrypted button will work here, and then I can go ahead and let's make it an SMB. Now I can do an export name encrypted, and it says encrypted yes, and this is what we want to do. So this volume is now encrypted, and then you can see by this token here, or this icon, that the volume with the key there, it says is encrypted. So you can have both encrypted volumes and unencrypted volumes, or shares. They work both the same way. Now when you access the data on the encryption volume, there's a little performance penalty. It's not much, but we have to encrypt and decrypt the volume to present it to your server. But the data within these blocks allocated to this volume are encrypted. The other volumes here or shares are not encrypted, and then the data on the pool or within the pool and the drive are not encrypted. And that's pretty much all you have to do to have an encrypted volume. And it's very important to preserve your data and have it encrypted for your customers. And this is how you do it. And then in this version here, it's going to be 256. And if you're running in version 15, it's going to be 128-bit versus 256.
And that actually, what you just said, Howard, kind of pertains to one of the questions that came in. They're curious about upgrading the VPSA to 1605. Is the data re-encrypted to 256 bits, or how does that work?
No, it's not. It's not re-encrypted. It'll still stay at 128. So if you want to go to a 256, you'd have to migrate the data to a new volume that's created on 1605.
Okay, great. And another question: why does Zadara not store the customer passwords? Is there a reason?
Well, we don't store the passwords because we don't want to control it. We want to have you responsible for it. And then, if you're ever audited, we can't give that to an auditor or into any law enforcement agency because we don't have it. So that's really up to you.
Right. And then, I mean, to add to that, it eliminates the risk of anyone stealing the password data. If it's kept from them, I think it's one of our most valuable and important features. But I wanted to get your take as well.
Yeah, that it is another important aspect to that. I worked in the Defense Department, and we never, after the keys were entered in, we never saved it. Everything went into RAM, and then they got initialized for the algorithms, and then any data got wiped out after that. So there's no way to recover the data, either on the drive or even on our storage nodes. So once it's in RAM, it goes away after a power cycle, or even after you hibernate your VPSA.
Mm-hmm. Great. Does anyone have any other questions for us today? Okay, it looks like that may be it. Howard, do you have a slide with your contact information you could pull up for everyone? Great. Okay, so if you guys have any follow-up questions, if you're, doing this yourself and run into some roadblocks, we're happy to help you out. Howard can be reached very simply at howard@zadarastorage.com or on Twitter, Howard@HowardY. We're both very active on Twitter. Um, the VPSA user manual, you could click in that. I'll send this in the chat in case anyone wants to easily just copy and paste. And then Howard, what's the Ask Me Anything link? Where does that go?
That goes to the Tech Tip Tuesday, where you can enter any question.
Okay, great.
So,
Yeah, so if you guys have topic suggestions, if there's something you'd like to learn more about, go there and suggest a topic, and we'll definitely look to implement it in a future episode. And I'm just typing these into the chat feature, so if you guys want to just directly click it instead of copying and pasting, trying to make it easier for you. So, but yeah, do we have anything queued up for next week, Howard?
next week we're going to look at some of the new features on 1605. We'll just do a quick walkthrough and I'll show you what's new. There's a lot of new features that we haven't announced. We sort of announced there's a 1605, the major features, but there's a lot of minor enhancements that make the product improve a lot better and have a lot of features that customers have requested over the past year or so.
Awesome. Great. That'll be really helpful for our partners and customers then. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today, and we hope to see you back next Tuesday.